頼もう。飯食べた後いいですか？
return my texts, and he's sending all of my calls straight to voicemail. He doesn't want anything to do with me anymore.
You can surprise Marcello at lunch. It's Maria's birthday.
Oh, wonderful. Who's Maria?
That's good.
So you told me.
No, we did.
Oh my god. Is that really true?
There's a little magical. She knows things. Here started a business, very small at first. And this town was always, my father had a philosophy that whatever success he made, he would share with the entire village. That is why practically everyone, school, library, even a theater, we want everyone who works here to be happy. Because if you're not,
Cut your budget.
Cut my budget. I just want a Michelin star.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. He said Michelin star restaurants can be money losers.
So what, he wants to punish me for being successful?
I suppose that depends on how you define success.
You know what? Can you just keep him off my back for a little while, please? I got some great changes coming to the market.
Can I get a hint?
Let's just say I got inspired by a trip I took this week. You know, when I start cooking.
You guys comprehend how big of a deal I am in China?
Well, tell us all about it.
You know what? I would love to hear more, but I gotta kick some shit.
Oh, hold on. I didn't just stumble over